Today we're going to turn this into this. If you're into woodworking or making, you've probably heard of Brad from Fix This, Build That. He has a great channel and he is a great guy. I actually met him in person a few months back, had the pleasure of speaking with him, and he was just awesome to get to know, so I wanted to make something for him. Check this out. It looks pretty cool, but why don't I show you how we did this? We're using the Rotoboss Junior Rotary, and the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that it is in this bed straight and square to this gantry arm. So what I am doing is I am actually physically standing up above it here. I'm going to look down from the gantry arm, and I'm going to look at this heel plate here, and I want to make sure that it is square. This is the best way that I have found to do it. It's actually easy. I have a pretty good eye of making sure that it's square. There are a couple other methods that you can use to make sure that it's in there square, but once you have this in here square and positioned where you want it, now we have to load the tumbler into the rotary. Today we are using a 20-ounce tumbler for this, and we already know the dimensions for this, but if you don't have your dimensions, you want to measure either the diameter or preferably the circumference all the way around the tumbler where you're going to be doing the engraving. We have a measuring tape that will actually go all the way around it, and that's the preferred method. We already know what the circumference of this is. It is actually 270 millimeters. So you want to keep that in mind as we load this and get ready to put it into the Lightburn software. Just keep that 270 millimeters in mind. The Rotoboss Junior has a clip here, a little metal clamp, and this is all built very nicely. We got this when we got our Thunder Nova 35. So yeah, this is really nice. We do have to shorten this up to get this to fit for the tumbler that we have. And there is a wheel on the back, or we actually just use this bar here in the middle and we just twist it. It has a little threaded rod till we get it to the right distance. So now that we have the heel plate just a little bit off of the back of the tumbler, we don't want it rubbing up against it, but now we have it in here. We have the clip, it's lined up. Next thing that we have to do is we have to level this. As you can see, this isn't level across here, and we want it level so the engraving comes out right. So we have this thing here, it's called a line level. It actually clips onto a string. Carpenters and contractors use it, but we are going to place it kind of right in the middle of our tumbler where the engraving would be, and we are going to level it. And to level it, you have to use this wheel over here. As you can see, as we turn it, the back plate will go down, and we just want to make sure that that bubble gets to the middle. And we're almost there. There we go. Once we have it level, we're ready to focus. By the way, we've made sure that our red dot is in the center line of the cup, basically by just making sure it is in the center of this clip and also the center of the back plate. Now that we know that we're in the center, now we can move the laser head here and focus at the point where we're going to be doing our engraving. For the tumblers, I like to defocus it a little bit to like 7 millimeters, and I use this little gauge that we have here that allows us to see where the little notches are. And so we're going to focus this to 7 millimeters. We are pretty close to where we need to be now, focusing that. So now that we have that ready, we want to set our origin on our tumbler. And to do that, I'm going to move this red dot laser right to the rim of this tumbler, right where the powder coating starts. Now that we have it right on the edge there, I am going to press the origin button to set an origin on this. And now we have our tumbler set up and ready to go. So let's move over to Lightburn and take a look at the software side of things. So we have Lightburn opened up and we have our template file loaded, and this is just the template for our 20-ounce tumblers that we do. and you'll notice that it is kind of wider here. Basically, let me tell you how we do this template. To engrave on these tumblers, they're laying like this. So we have to make sure that our engrave space goes from like the bottom of these ridges to the edge of this little ring that is around it. So this length right here becomes the width of our template. And the height of our template here, this height is basically just 1/4 of the whole diameter. So if the whole diameter is 270 millimeters, you'll notice when I click on it, our height is 67.5 millimeters. And that represents 1/4 of the way around this. Next, we need to import our artwork, and you can go to File, Import, or you can just drag the file in, whichever way works best for you. Once the artwork is in, we do want to rotate it. To do this, we're just going to grab the corner here and hold down Shift. That way we make sure that we stay on a 90-degree turn here. And keep in mind the direction that your tumbler is, and we can drag our artwork to the center of this, or we can select everything, and you can click on this little align both vertical and horizontal, and it will align everything exactly in the center the way that it needs to be. And here's the settings that we use for these tumblers. We use 400 millimeter per second, 35% power, and the 0.08 line interval. So yes, that is the settings that we use. You can also use these for different tumblers like Yeti and stuff. This is what works for us, at least for our Nova 35 80-watt laser. So since we have set our origin, we want to make sure that we are starting from the current position. Now that we have our origin set in the laser there, in the controller, we want to start from current position. And our origin is actually right on the edge of that rim. So we want to start our engrave here, or the job origin should be the middle, the kind of on the left middle. So you'll see that you can choose these different positions. We want to start it from right here. And you'll see this reflected over here with the little green square, which is actually right where our origin is set on the tumbler that is in the laser there. Once we have all of that set, there is one more thing that we need to do to make sure that our rotary is set up properly for this actual tumbler. Remember the circumference that I told you about, the 270 millimeters? Now we need to go in here, and in Lightburn, we go to Tools. We need to go to Rotary Setup. And we need to make sure that in the bottom here, the circumference, it is set to the proper circumference for whatever object, whether it's a tumbler or whatever it might be. So we need to make sure we are set on roller. Rotary is enabled. And now we know that it is 270 millimeters. So we just put in 270 millimeters here, and that should automatically change your diameter. So you could actually put in whatever number that you had. If you had something that you knew was 90 millimeters in diameter, it would change your circumference. But we always just know the circumference is 270 for the 20 ounce here that we have. We tell it okay. And now the only thing left to do is to send this to the laser. So we're going to click on Send. And this is our template name. You can name it something else if you want to. We will just send this, and it will probably overwrite it. I'm sure we have it. Yes, so we're going to tell it to overwrite. And now that has been sent to the laser, and that is ready to go. So let's jump on over to the laser, get this thing finished. Now that we have the rotary in here, we do want to go ahead and hit frame to make sure it's working properly. So now that we have our file loaded, we're just going to hit frame. You'll see the rotary is spinning and moving the tumbler where it needs to be. Now it's back to the origin. So now pretty much all we have to do is hit start and let it go. We are going to let this go here. You're seeing it in real time right now. We did speed the video up for this just so it'll get through a little quicker. And it's almost finished. That should be it. Moves back to the origin, and we will let the fan stop running before we open it up and pull it out. Let's take a look. The tumbler looks really good, but it does have some residue on it, so we're going to clean it up. To clean it, we're going to use this product called Blue from ENDURAMARK. It is a powder coat residue cleaner, and it works really well. We have some in a spray bottle, so we're going to spray it and clean it. Wow, and that looks fabulous. I think he's going to like it. Now that this tumbler is all finished up, we are going to send this over to Brad to see what he thinks about it. Hopefully he's going to like it.
I got a little package here I wanted to open up from Malone. Met Jay over at Vid Summit, and he sent me a little gift. Let's see what it is. All right, so it says Red Tumbler on the outside, so little giveaway there. But let's see. Oh, come on. One-handed is always a chore. Ooh! All right, custom logo tumbler. Jay, thank you so much, dude. This looks awesome. Guys, check out Jay if you need some customized mugs. He does other laser stuff. It's really cool, the things he's doing. We had a nice talk about the work he did on his laser and about what I can do on mine. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks for sending us that video, Brad. I'm so glad that you liked it. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until next time, God bless.